I never want to get political anymore. Like I had a whole channel that was speaking on African politics and also like colonialism and the rest of stuff. I used to have channels like that, and I stopped because I thought it was very exhausting. But when it comes to the English team, the football team, um, they always sort of every time you're an English supporter, they always sort of find a way to remind you that you're not that part of that, which is kind of sad, really, because it's almost like we had no choice. I mean, like you look at what England has done in colonized countries, like where my family's from, that England colonized right up to the 1800s, and in the 1900s, you never stopped colonizing it. You continued with neo-colonialism. So it's almost like my father ended up in England because England was still controlling the oil and the rest of these things that was that was in Nigeria at the time. So I ended up being born in England, and then now you support England, and then you see all the stuff, all the little. Even when I went to watch a game over here the other day, and there was still sort of slight little small comments that were still being made in little corners where I was watching, and I'm like, it's kind of a weird situation, man, because obviously I'm only talking about this because there was a conversation that came up with a few of the sort of Saka and the rest of them, and we all remember what happened when Saka missed the penalty as well. So it's pretty sort of sad to me that we're still dealing with that right now in 2026. And then if you have kids, do you really want your kids to have to deal with all of this shit? Do you know what I mean? Do you want another generation of your bloodline to want to be dealing with whether or not someone thinks you're English enough? Without you remembering, and people always seem to want to forget that there was a thing called colonialism. And if you stop colonialism in the 60s when they really had the true independence, then we would probably not be in England, and some of us would have stayed in Africa, right? But you didn't do that. All of our real leaders apparently got killed. Some of them got blown up in planes just because you wanted the resources. So now you've created a system, a neo-colonialism, and now we've ended up here. Now we almost have to contend with having to deal with that. Every other country who have understood the assignment, the rest of people don't seem to understand it, especially in England. And it's pretty sad, man, and it makes me always question a lot of stuff. And it doesn't hurt anymore. It's just like I've just got accustomed to it, but I have to ask myself questions, whether what my future or wherever comes from me looks like, how I'm going to have to navigate that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, why we, like, there's no question about it. Indigenous English people are white. No one is arguing with that. But you went into other people's country and fucked it up. And now you're like, and then when we all grew up here, now you're kind of questioning shit. Like, it's pretty sad and frustrating. And this racism shit is not gonna end anytime soon. And it's already rearing its head at the World Cup, and we're walking into the knockout stages. Everyone's talking about France, and France is all. Bro, you have to remember, there is the francophone countries. France chooses the currency they use, and they tell them not to build any infrastructure to process their resources in their country. And the people that have tried to do the different thing, the one guy, they've tried to kill him like 15 times because he's saying no more. He's going to build his own infrastructure. So now they're wondering why there's more black players over there. It's because you continue to colonize them even after the original colonization in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. You continued to do it. And now we're here. Do you know what I mean? So it's just sad to see, man. And I respect people like Gary Lineker that had this conversation, but like, and then you got a video that went viral, and all the guys said, you know, what do you think about England playing DRC? And he was talking about we colonized them before. Like, why bring that up, bro? As an English fan, why bring that up? That's a cause of pain for a lot of people. Our ancestors died real time. Real time. Our women great. All sort of shit happened. Why bring that? And that video is going viral now. And I'm looking at that. That almost like, I almost wanted to take off my English jersey. Like, what the fuck was this? Why bring that up? And even though England did not colonize DRC, it was France, but you get the point. So it's quite frustrating and sad. And the new generation have picked up from the poison of their ancestors. You know, and I really don't want to be going political. Like, I literally shut down a whole page that I really don't even post on it anymore because it's exhausting. And I've been excited for England, this team, since Gareth Southgate built them up, and even what Tuchel is doing right now. But when I see shit like this, like all the sort of disrespect of whether or not, oh, that person is from England or is from this and that. Saka was born in England, and the kid didn't even go to Nigeria until, I don't know, teenage years. You know, and all the other players. And now we have to deal with this shit. You know, we thought like all them man, they're like Paul Ince and Ian Wright dealt with it, not this new generation. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to speak about this. It's just the sort of interesting situation that we have to deal with, being black and being British. Because I wouldn't say English because I don't want some of you in my comments. I understand what the look is, but there are some people that feel more English. I've literally, after the Saka one, missed the penalty, and I saw the level of monkey jokes, I've already just took my leg off into that, removed that sort of trying to say you're English part of it. I just say I'm British, because it's clear that we could never be anything but that. And made me also, I have to thank you, because that, you know, Euros made me sort of start embracing my Africanness more. But there's still a lot I know about England, because I spent more time in England than I ever did in Africa. So, but this is a situation, and it's pretty sad that you're questioning people that have committed their talents to playing for the Three Lions, and now you're questioning, you know, their nationality, even though you know what caused what we have in England to be multiculturalism. We didn't come there by just sheer luck. You went out and colonized those people for centuries. And now we want to build something that maybe there will be a bit of love and understanding and make sure that we forget what happened. But shit like that makes us remember the fucked up shit that happened. You know, this is what I have to deal with as a British-born person. You know, and now my kids are going to deal with it. I don't know. You know, it's time for some sort of ejection and moving forward in a different place, probably. I don't know. But yeah, sad shit, man.